Well, the DNC has developed an amazing strategy for 2020 to take out President Donald J. Trump. How do you compete with somebody who is as charismatic as President Trump and has the track record of literally turning the American economy around while you combat him with pale, stale, and male? Well, apparently, it's working. We have Elizabeth Warren, who is dropping in the totem poles, and she'll tell you polls mean nothing to her. That's good. Tell that to Kamala Harris, who is now out of there, finally ending her campaign. And let's be honest, she started dropping after Tulsi Gabbard took her out. And I don't know that that's enough to actually propel Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard may have been the sacrificial lamb, kind of like Chris Christie was for Donald Trump. It was Christie who took out Marco Rubio. And it was a classic takedown, but nonetheless, it didn't propel Christie, and the takeout of Harris probably is not going to propel Tulsi Gabbard. But the fact that Kamala Harris's top advisor who worked for her campaign not only resigned, but on her exit released a scathing letter of resignation talking about Kamala Harris having lied to staff members, getting them to give up their lives and their careers and their locations to move to Baltimore, only to be fired without notice. And I love how the fact she then jumps over onto the Bloomberg campaign, but yet says that Kamala Harris stood the best chance of any Democrat to beat Donald Trump. So let me get this straight. You quit the person that can beat Donald Trump, you say. You go work for somebody else's presidential campaign where you say, well, you're now on their team, taking their money, receiving a salary from them. Hey, the person I just quit, they're the ones that can actually beat the person we're running against. I'm sure that made Michael Bloomberg feel really good. But then again, this is Michael Bloomberg we're talking about. And of course, we've got outrage among the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media because Bloomberg News has been banned by the Trump campaign from attending any of the Trump rallies or campaign events. Now, certainly if they want to get in line and stand in line and, hopefully make it in the building, they can, but they're not going to receive any press credentials. And, of course, the New York slime and the rest of the lying corporate propaganda machine that calls himself the mainstream media, they're outraged over this. You can't deny press credentials. This president is obviously anti-First Amendment. Hold it. And how about a reality check here? Bloomberg News, owned by Michael Bloomberg, has stated they are not going to do any investigative reporting on their candidate, Michael Bloomberg, or any of his 2020 campaign rivals in the Democratic Party. So let's get this straight. Bloomberg News admits, at least they're more honest than Airport Terminal TV, now known as CNN, or I should say used to be known as CNN. Obviously more honest than PMSNBC. Bloomberg Media is actually saying, look, we're not interested in anything that our candidate might be up to, or that his Democratic candidates might be up to, that is not in the best interest of the American people. And they actually had the audacity to say that no matter what Trump has done in pulling their credentials, they have always reported on him fair, unbiased, and balanced, and will continue to do so. Give me a break. But then again, they work for Michael Bloomberg. And it was Michael Bloomberg who's going to have a really hard time splaining this idiocy that he calls a tax philosophy.
Some people say, well, taxes are regressive, but in this case, Yes, they are. That's the good thing about them, because the problem is in people that don't have a lot of money. And so higher taxes should have a bigger impact on their behavior and how they deal with themselves. So I listen to people saying, oh, we don't want to tax the poor. Well, we want the poor to live longer so that they can get an education and enjoy life. And that's why you do want to do exactly what a lot of people say you don't want to do. The question is, do you want to pander to those people, or do you want to get them to live longer? And there's just no question. If you raise taxes on full sugary drinks, for example, they will drink less, and there's just no question that full sugar drinks are one of the major contributors to obesity, and obesity is one of the major contributors to heart disease and cancer and a variety of other things.
The new Democratic campaign slogan, taxing the poor because we care. First of all, you talk about the nanny state. This idea that government knows better than you know how you ought to be living your life. And sugary drinks, they're killing you. Therefore, we're going to tax them so that you can't afford them. And see, what we're really doing is we're doing you a favor. We're forcing you to get healthy, and you can live longer and go to college, and then longer you can live and work for us, billionaires like me, and continue to make me money. That's what Bloomberg was really saying right there. You can continue to be the worker bee, the worker ant, and we're going to give you longevity because we're going to tax the crap out of you. Really? That's what he's going to try to sell the American people? And what gets me about this is the fact that has he not taken any read of the political landscape right now? Within the Democratic Party, you've got this beyond social liberalism run amok with Bernie and AOC and the rest of that ilk. A billionaire talking about taxing the poor, and that's a good thing. We're helping them. We're helping them live longer. You really going to try to defend that? You really think that the progressive left media is going to buy into that narrative? I know it fits for the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media, which is all a bunch of liberal billionaires anyway. Just ask George Soros. They're going to love that message, but let's get real. That is not going to resonate not only among average Democrats, that's not going to resonate among the American people who right now are feeling good about the economy thanks to President Trump. And why does Michael Bloomberg say, well, we're tax. We're going to tax. We have to tax, and it's good for you. And this is the guy that the so-called credible mainstream media was literally having a collective orgasm that this guy could actually beat Donald Trump.
He's probably certainly the most successful businessman in New York, one of the 5 or 10 most successful businessmen in the country.
Truth is, if he stands on the stage with Donald Trump, I think he matches up very well. He's actually a businessman. He's actually a billionaire. He's actually a philanthropist. He's all the things that Trump pretends to be.
In the smoke-filled room, you'd say, on paper, Bloomberg has the right balance of what you want to win a broad election.
The bumper sticker for Michael Bloomberg is Donald Trump, but richer, more successful, and less offensive.
How much money? Let's put it up.
Let's put it up. Can't get enough of this graphic. So we're talking about the war between the billionaires, and look at the net worth.
Clearly, Bloomberg is a lot richer than President Trump is. Billions. Billions.
As we know, Donald Trump has prided himself on what he views as his business acumen, his business success, being a wealthy man. Well, that's something that Michael Bloomberg clearly brings to the table.
It really could pose a threat to Trump, who is not likely to be happy that there's another billionaire, a real billionaire, on the scene.
Look, I think that for the president on a bunch of different levels, that's scary in a general election.
The chances of a brokered convention have increased if Bloomberg is serious about this.
Trump is the ultimate charlatan, is the ultimate fake. He can peel that emperor's clothes off of Trump just about better than anybody.
Little premature climax there, I would say, now that Mike Bloomberg, well, let's see. He owns his own media outlet that has already said they're never going to do an investigative piece on him. His media outlet has been banned from Trump events, all while the background is playing of impeachment over the fact that there was, the collusion with Russia story and narrative imploded, and we've got Lisa Page out there and the impending IG report coming over illegally spying on a president because illegal warrants were obtained, and a guy who wants to be president is admitting that his news organization has no problem with things like that because we're only going to talk about him. We won't talk about any of the illegalities of what the Democrats are up to. Yeah. So this is the DNC winning strategy of let's go male, pale, and stale. And speaking of that strategy, well, of course we have to talk about the one and only Joe the Sniffer Biden.
Joe Biden, he's the man with the Biden touch, a creepy touch.
Well, if sniffing women wasn't creepy enough, Joe, a recent campaign stop on his No Malarkey tour. First of all, who in his campaign is not advising him? Really? He even has it on the side of his bus, No Malarkey. No Malarkey. He's got it on all four sides of his bus. Who, under the age of 75, has ever even used the word malarkey? Who, under the age of 85, even knows what the definition of the word malarkey is? But hey, it's okay, because I'm not kidding you, on the back of Joe's bus, it has the word malarkey, and then underneath it says noun, and then it gives a definition. And why did they do that? Because nobody knows what it means. Old people don't even use the word malarkey. So if you've got a guy who's already a walking gaffe machine, he is the gift that keeps on giving to conservative media. He is constantly saying the wrong thing the wrong way. He is totally and completely politically incorrect, and that he fondles women, he sniffs women. He talks about his days as a lifeguard when he was taking on, those black gangbangers named Corn Pop. It's like, oh my God. And now he's out there on the No Malarkey tour. And you're trying to pass him off to young voters as somebody who is credible, in touch, gets it, and his campaign is called the No Malarkey Tour. Well, on the No Malarkey Tour, again, trying to get away from, you would think, the creepy image, he bites or sucks his wife's finger.
The President of the United States.
Ew. Now, he may have meant that as a joke because, she was going wide in her hand gesture there and kind of like in his face a little bit. But then when he did that, he's like, ew, I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that, especially this is the guy that we've got all kinds of video footage and photographs of him coming up behind women, rubbing their shoulders, sniffing their hair, and now he's finger licking good. I mean, this is like, okay, this guy's obviously into, fetish porn, you have toe sucking, and apparently Biden is a finger licker. Yeah, and if that wasn't bad enough, this little video resurfaced in the past few days. Again, Joe reliving his lifeguard days and talking about how much he loved the kids at the pool.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
He may have meant all of that in the most innocent of context, but seeing as how these are the Democrats, and they do tend to cover up for a lot of pedophilia, I'm sorry. But that is beyond creepy, listening to an old man say, I really like it when kids come up in my lap. I like it. Reminds me of a joke. Hey, little girl, how about you jump up in Uncle Joe's lap and we'll talk about the first thing that pops up. Oh, wait a minute. That's John McCain. What is with these creeped out old men? Old, stale, pale, and male. This is what the Democrats are offering their constituents. This is what the Democrats are offering America. Hey, you libloons, you better really think about an independent third-person run, or you are going to get so tanked in the 2020 election. What do you think? A little over the top today? A little too mean in the commentary? A little too sarcastic? Please leave me your comments. I want to know. Especially if you're a Democrat. Especially if you're actually a Biden supporter. That said, hey, make sure you keep sharing these videos. YouTube is suppressing, but you are doing an amazing, outstanding job. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for getting the word out. We're creeping it up there, but obviously YouTube is scared to death that this channel could literally take off, because when it does, look out, baby. Give us a thumbs up, and once again, make sure you're a subscriber.